listening to Switch Flicks, the podcast where we love and hate movies at the same time. I'm your host, Omar, and I'm here with my Indian smoldering heartthrob, Hysum. Hello, Hysum.
You know, I was part of the Indian Secret Service.
Were you?
Yeah, it was very secret.
Was it?
They wouldn't even pay me or tell me that I was in it. I was mostly just sitting outside the government office. Sometimes people would put money on my lap.
Oh, God. So, wait, were you homeless? Were you a beggar?
That's on a need-to-know basis.
Okay. Today, we are reviewing War. The rules of the podcast are simple. Hysum and I review something. One of us will have to love it. One of us will have to hate it. And who does what will be determined by the flip of a coin.
The coin of fate?
The coin of fate!
The coin of fate.
Okay. The catch is that at any point in our debate, we can call switch to change position. So if you loved it, you now hate it. And if you hated it, you now love it. Let us begin with our patented one-breath synopsis. Hysum, do you have a one-breath synopsis for me?
I do. I was actually going to give it to you in Hindi.
Okay.
But then I decided against it because our audience wouldn't understand and you would insult a lot of Indians.
Probably. All right, here we go. War is a 2019 Indian Hindi language action thriller film directed by Siddharth Anand. It is produced by Aditya Chopra under the banner Yash Raj Films. It stars Bollywood heartthrob Hrithik Roshan and his young real-life protege Tiger Shroff. The film follows Khalid, an Indian research and analysis wing raw agent who is assigned to eliminate Kabir, a former soldier turned rogue who mentored Khalid. 2 years before Kabir betrayed his associates, he, along with Khalid and the other agents, were on a search for criminal-turned-businessman Rizwan Ilyasi. Now, during the globe-trotting manhunt, Kabir and Khalid go head-to-head, fighting through a series of set pieces that involve land, sea, snow, air, planes, cars, ships, bikes, parkour, and much, much more.
Brilliant.
Thank you.
You know, I think you do really well at Raw.
Raw. What the hell kind of thing? Like,
that's
really,
the actual name of it.
Is it real?
That's the actual name of it.
That's what is it again? It's the what is Raw again?
It's
the research and analysis wing.
Yeah.
Like Raw sounds really excessive.
They clearly came up with Raw first and then put the
what
words.
they
They're
can
like,
actually
it's
put
so
to it.
cool. I'm now about to flip the coin of fate.
Let's go for it.
If it lands on heads, you have to love this movie.
Yep.
If it lands on tails, you have to hate it. Here goes nothing. You love this movie.
Okay. All right. War. What is it good for? Absolutely everything. It's got action. It's got romance. Between two. It's got bromance. It's got fight scenes. It's got chases. I mean, really, if I'm gonna, pay good money to go and watch a movie, especially if it's this all singing, all dancing Bollywood blockbuster, then War is the most that I could possibly hope for.
War, what is it good for? That's the real song. That's how it goes. And this movie follows those words exactly. What happened, I think, with this movie was the director saw a bunch of movies. Yeah, like he saw Face Off and he saw Mission Impossible. He took all the Blu-rays, put it in a blender, threw in some songs, mixed it up, and then came out with this turd.
We do not. It came out with a what?
Turd.
It's a little turd.
Little turd.
Little turd.
Actually, a 2.5 hour turd. That's a long turd.
Look, let's maintain this in the back.
Let's talk about the plot, okay? So, how does this start? Actually, I don't even know where to start because there's so much going on in this movie.
There's so much going on in this movie that I don't even know where to start.
Right? So, first, you see Hrithik Roshan, like you like to call him. The H is silent.
Yes,
Hrithik Roshan. This guy. The director is in love with this guy, right?
The audience is in love with this guy.
Every time the camera is on him, it goes into super slow motion.
As it should.
For minutes and minutes. It's just him walking, Him taking off his glasses. Him looking at the camera.
The most handsome man that has ever graced the silver screen.
Switch.
He is the most pompous man that has ever graced the silver screen. I mean, really, how many slow motion shots can you take of one guy?
Not enough.
It's a joke.
My God.
This movie is a vehicle for this man's ego. I mean, look, I understand he's chiseled. I understand he's good looking, but come on, you're wasting time on taking away from the plot when you're spending like 90 seconds at a time just on a slow motion shot of this guy turning his face.
Man, you don't understand. 24 frames per second isn't enough frames per second to show off this man. You need to go in slow motion. You need to see his perfect face, his perfect chin, his perfect abs, his perfect hair, the perfect bruises on his face.
Exactly. Everything is so perfect. It's completely unrealistic. It feels like between every single take, they just took him to the side and retouched all of his makeup, his hair, his bruising, his shirt, making sure it's cut in just the right way.
Oh, it is. It's all ripped in just all the right places.
Like
He's
that,
got muscles in all the right places.
And then meanwhile, what's this like weird relationship between him and the guy who plays Khalid in it, Tiger?
Rawr.
It's so overcooked. It's over the top, man. Like, okay, I understand this is supposed to be someone that he looks up to,
it's
but
mentorship.
He is adoring the guy. He literally calls him a god.
It's man love.
It's some serious
right?
man love.
You see the love that they have for each other, and
Yes.
that makes their competitiveness all the more thrilling to watch when they go head to head, when they go ab to ab, when they go ass to
Oh
ass.
God! When did they ever go ass to ass?
In my fan fiction.
Okay.
Okay, so the plot of this movie is Hrithik Roshan goes rogue in slow motion.
Yeah, like the plot of a million other action spy movies. He goes rogue. The main guy goes rogue. And obviously he hasn't really gone rogue. Obviously he's still the good guy from the beginning. It's not like there's like any kind of surprise.
There are so many surprises. There are so many twists and turns in this movie. This movie has more twists and turns than the muscles in the abs of Hrithik Roshan. And those things have lots of twists and turns. Lots of muscles. Okay?
Okay.
So, and then not only the action sequences, you have the musical sequences. Yeah, when he goes...
The musical sequences.
Yeah.
That come out of nowhere.
He's gone rogue. It's Mulan rogue. Okay, that's what it is. It is a musical. You have these two songs full of color, holy, dance, and these guys, they can move.
They can look. I'm impressed by their dancing skills. Good job. But what does that have to do with their character? What does that have to do with their personas? I mean, they just left a scene where they were literally murdering people left, right, and center, explosions, blood, death, and the next thing you know, you've got them prancing around in a holy celebration,
Exactly.
looking like absolutely delighted at getting a chance to show off their moves. Like, it makes no sense. There's
This
no
movie has
relationship.
everything that you need. It has action, it has drama, it goes from one tone to the other. It always keeps you on your feet.
It's confusing, man. This is in a series of films that are introducing me to Bollywood, right? And like, I don't know what this is supposed to make me think. The first couple of movies that you showed me that made me really understand the depth of Bollywood and to really appreciate that it's not the cliche that I thought it was. And this movie makes me think that it's the cliche that I always thought it was. Like, it doesn't make sense. Physics means nothing, and dancing comes out of nowhere, and there's slow motion everything, and it's like, what's going on?
You're always looking at me and telling me how ugly I am. And so I wanted to show you a movie with some really handsome men to tell you, Indians can be handsome.
No, this is the thing, is that what I love about you is that you're real. Okay?
Yeah.
No matter how ugly you are. Is that you're real.
Thank you.
This guy's not real, man. This is all just it's gonna give Indian men body dysmorphia. Because you cannot look that way in real life. It's all touched up.
Have you seen him in real life? He is so real. He is so much man that he needed a sixth thumb to be more man. God gave him an extra thumb. Hrithik Roshan, the actor, has an extra thumb. You guys should know that.
And you know what? Yeah, I appreciate that, but it did not give him any kind of, it didn't help him in this performance at all.
It helps you give 3 thumbs up to this movie. Okay.
You know what I would have really liked, though, is that if I had actually seen him use the thumb in the movie in some kind of interesting way, like to hold 3 guns. But never did that, so it just became an added appendage.
Okay, so what happens is that Tiger joins Hrithik's, Secret Service group. They go on a mission, right? But Tiger, he's the son of a traitor. And Hrithik doesn't trust him, right? He's like, you can't be in the group, right?
No.
And they go have a fight.
He's really against him being in the group.
They have a fight. This amazing fight sequence done in somewhere in the Middle East,
Somewhere in the Middle East.
right? And at the end of that fight,
That was in Iraq.
Hrithik
In Tikrit. Very specifically.
yes.
Tikrit.
Hrithik looks at Tiger and says, you have a blind spot in the right side of your peripheral vision. Okay? He saw it. He's like, oh, when you were aiming to the right side, you missed a few shots. It can only mean one thing.
It's the only thing it can mean.
You have a blind spot in the peripheral vision of your right eye.
That doesn't make any sense. It's like they needed him to realize that Tiger has a blind spot in his right peripheral vision. So specific.
Yeah.
That, like, they just wrote it in. Like, this
Hrithik is
guy
so
just
perfect. He can just tell.
He can just tell just from the fact that he didn't shoot all the way to the right. Like, I don't even understand that. Kabir says, I know who your father is. And then he shows these two perfect gunshots in his like the handsomest gunshots.
have
that
you,
you've ever seen.
like-
It's like, this is what your father did to me. So from that moment on, it's like he doesn't trust him. Right?
Yeah, his father shot him and he killed his father, and Tiger's still working for him even though he killed his father. And then his mom is there and she looks at him because he killed his father, and she's like, you're working for the army because you killed my father. Oh my God, so much emotion. Okay, so then they do the song, and then they go for, they go on a mission to get the bad guy, Mr. Ilyas, or whatever he's called, right? And then there's a amazing shootout and a parkour sequence where Tiger runs around doing some parkour.
Pointless parkour.
He did his own stunts. Okay, he's jumping off buildings like, oh yeah. I wanted to do parkour. I was jumping on the sea. Like, really, it was
ridiculous.
Intense. And then, lo and behold, what happens? They have a traitor. Betrayal. Like, you have been betraying me.
The most random guy betrays them. The guy that we haven't even looked at, like,
Part of
once.
his team, man.
Saurabh. Saurabh betrays them.
You're just
Right?
saying it because you have, traitorness written all over you.
Switch.
You're just saying this because you have traitorness
What?
painted all over you. I twisted. I didn't say
You
written.
Switch.
It has the words come out of your
switch.
mouth.
The meaning of what you're saying is supposed to switch.
No, it
Yeah.
Okay, what was it?
You're calling me a traitor.
Okay, you are not a traitor. You are just an asshole. Right.
I'll take it.
And this movie is dumb. They have physics means nothing. They have these shootouts. They're using these wooden. They're hiding behind a wooden table, and bullets are just hitting it, and it just shielded by the wooden table.
Who knows what's in between the wood? You don't know what's in between the wood. By the way, they are in a scene where there's like extreme danger, okay? And this crack team of crack team comes in with Tiger, with Hrithik, with all of them, and they want to disrupt this meeting, and they do so in the best possible way. And yeah, of course the tables are bulletproof because they knew in advance that they'd need them to shield themselves.
May I make a suggestion? Don't use the word raw between the word. And there was one more that you used. I can't remember right now.
It was raw. Raw.
Raw between the wood in the same sentence.
Raw between the wood.
No, don't say that.
That's raw between the wood.
Extreme action. No, don't want it.
Splinters.
No. What?
Splinters
What?
raw.
So
the point is,
Kabir gets shot.
Kabir gets shot. All right. So Kabir gets shot. He's like, oh my God,
You're
I
loving
need
it.
some help. All right.
You're loving it.
Oh, I'm loving it. So Kabir gets shot.
Yes.
Right, and it's just so dramatic. He falls to the ground. It's chaos. It's madness.
It is madness.
You know, and Sarab takes off. Right, so Khalid takes off right after him because he's got a bead on him. He wants to take him down, and Kabir is like, Khalid, come back and help me. But you know, Khalid is just focused on getting the traitor,
Right.
the betrayer.
Yeah.
Okay, and there's this beautiful action sequence. Next thing you know, unfortunately, it's gone south. The bad guys escape. All right? The bad guys escape. So we carry on.
Yes, we do carry on. And now we're back in present day where Kabir has gone rogue, and nobody in the audience has any doubts why he's gone rogue. It is the most obvious thing. He's killing these certain people. Clearly, he's killing people who are doing an inside job. But this movie thinks it's a surprise, right?
Listen, man. All right? There are some serious surprises in this movie, okay? And they are measured, and they are crafted, and they are created to completely blow you away because they know what you know.
Yeah.
They know that they think that they know, right?
Yeah.
They know what you know.
Yeah, no.
All right? Even though you think that they don't know what you know.
No.
Right? So what's happening is that they're feeding you these little things.
They're doing
and
like
they're making you think that you're more clever than they are so that they can get you at the end.
They're doing like a Princess Bride thing where they're...
Absolutely.
No, that's
the
not
Princess Bride. Very relevant to war. Exactly that.
But I wish I was watching The Princess Bride. What a wonderful movie. No, but okay.
This is an action movie, my friend. This is an action spy
and the action
thriller,
sequences are terrible.
Excuse me.
Whoa, that surprise on your face. It is terrible.
Sequences are
what about the plane
insane.
action sequence where he's
fantastic. Listen, man, when Tom Cruise does it, everybody's applauding. And then when Hrithik does it, you're like, oh, it's not good enough.
When Tom Cruise does it, he's doing it for real. This is terrible special effects, terrible CGI, terrible, like, just they do these shots where the camera is just randomly shaking as if like the guy shooting it is having like a random seizure. You can't say
maybe he was having a seizure and you're just making fun of a man who had a seizure. I mean, have you ever thought about that?
Maybe don't put that shot in the movie.
Look, no, listen, man. All right, there is so much to compress and pack into this movie. All right, yeah, we know people like Tom Cruise doing the, with his ego, doing everything himself and doing it for real. But not everybody can do that. We're watching a film. We are supposed to suspend our disbelief, and you don't have to look at the plane and make sure that's exactly perfect. The story is more important. And what's happening in the story at this point is really crucial. He is hunting down these guys and he's taking them out one by one. And the ways that he does it are phenomenal. At one point in the plane, okay, he's being shot at by all these people behind him, right? He's being shot at by all these people behind him. Hold on, I got to bring this back up because it's really important to see it.
He then drives a car off the plane.
No, before he drives the car off the plane, there's an incredible sequence where he is surrounded by all these guys and he takes his glasses, his sunglasses.
Oh, yes, he does.
Throws them in slow motion because Hrithik has that capacity, all right? He's just so perceptive. And the glasses turn in midair and he sees the reflection of the people behind him, thus knowing exactly where they are and how many bullets to use, and takes them all out. It's freaking phenomenal.
He took me out. He took me out of this movie. I was done by that time. I was like, am I watching a parody here? That's what it looked like. It felt like a YouTube parody.
Switch.
It felt like it felt like Mission Impossible is a parody of this movie.
Okay.
Because of how incredible the stuff that they use. They don't need gadgets. All he needs is his real life perception and eyes and physics.
What about this has anything to do with real life?
Hrithik Roshan can do these things in real life.
He put a plane into autopilot, all right?
Yeah.
And then he went onto its wing.
Yes.
Right? With these homemade magnets on his arms.
Oh, yeah, he made those himself.
And then
is there anything this man can't do?
Then he somehow, the plane maneuvered itself into the perfect position over the other plane, and he jumped, and he landed on the other plane's hull, right?
Yeah.
And then he then snuck into the plane.
It's amazing.
But the way he snuck into the plane was great because you would think that he would make some noise or there would be some decompression.
He went into slow motion mode. He did it bullet time.
Suddenly, there's a guy inside the plane. It's like one of those like video game, moments where like the bad guy, is just completely unaware.
There should be a war video game.
And then suddenly, Hrithik is right there behind him and he kills them all.
Yeah, he does.
There's no
in
reality.
An incredible
there's no realism,
action sequences.
There's no reality.
Hand-to-hand combat,
Forget it.
Gunplay, macho men doing their macho men stuff.
Very macho men.
Right? And then that's what's so great about it. There's a ticking clock. He is killing people and then we get to intermission. There's a great head-to-head between Tiger and Hrithik. What a great time to leave you just for 10 minutes tense on the edge of your seat like this. I was on the edge of the seat.
Did you have to go to the bathroom or something?
No, I was just like waiting.
Were you like really?
Well,
did you have to go pee-pee?
After watching this movie, I did go to the bathroom.
Oh, no.
Okay? God. Hrithik. You're on the edge of the seat.
They have a face-off inside the metro.
You don't know what's going to happen next. After this, you don't know what's going to happen.
No, you really don't know what's going to happen.
After this intermission.
And this is, again, let's just take a moment to say, again, I never understood or knew that intermissions are part of Bollywood cinema.
Yes,
they're part
they
of
are.
Bollywood movies. So the first half of the movie is separate from the second half, right? It's meant to be separate, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it's supposed to still feel like it's the same movie when you come back into it.
And then-
except in this case, it's like we came back into a completely different movie. Like, what are we doing?
You see a little girl playing
You see a little girl,
soccer.
like, it felt like a commercial for like some cereal
No.
commercial, some Indian
Okay.
cereal commercial.
This is how tone works, right? You're at the edge of your seat, right? And then for 10 minutes they have you thinking, what's gonna happen? What's gonna happen? What's gonna happen?
Yeah,
and then what?
And then it's like, what's happening? What's happening? What's happening?
It's the last
took
thing
me
you
literally
expect.
10 minutes to even understand what the hell just happened.
It's the last thing you expect. Little girl playing soccer. Turns out Hrithik Roshan has an adoptive daughter, and then
You couldn't tell right away. First of all, it was like, wait, is that his daughter? I mean, what's he talking about?
Exactly.
What's going on?
Edge of
Why
your
does he
seat.
look so different? Why does he look so like relaxed? It looks like he's a different character, and he's speaking in English more than before. Even though, by the way, like 60% of this movie's in English.
it's intrigue. It's called intrigue.
It
They're
looks
building
like
intrigue.
every single location that this movie was shot in was shot, but with a different team entirely, different DOP.
Yeah.
Probably, like, I know it was the same director, but I'm pretty sure he had like B unit, C unit, D unit. He had like G unit.
Hey, it had my D unit when I was watching this movie. Okay, so then there's an amazing party song. You're getting into the mood. You're getting the gist of things. You're like, where's this going? Where's this going?
All of a
There's-
sudden, he's in like Italy or something.
and then there's the love interest. Okay, and then he's on a mission with this
No,
love
but at this
interest.
point, we're still not sure if this is the same movie. Like, it's still.
What are you talking about? It's clearly
come
the
on.
same
now,
movie.
Now he's on vacation with this love interest, and he's wearing like a little hat and a little bow tie, like a little like.
Yeah.
He looks like he looks like Hrithik on vacation. Like, he doesn't look like he's in the movie anymore.
Yeah, he's a spy. He's a master of disguise. You don't understand.
No, I didn't understand.
Well, he tricked you.
Yeah, he
That's how
certainly
good
did.
he is.
He certainly did.
Okay.
Okay.
Song sequence.
Right, and then you see him. There's a second song sequence. Second song sequence, which
Great song,
again,
like a little
came out of
Indian
nowhere.
Daft Punk
But
kinda
okay,
thing.
I'm willing to accept the dance sequences. I don't. It's not like I have something against the dance sequences. I just want to feel like they make sense in some way as part of the story.
Switch.
Right? Dance sequence don't need to make sense as part of the story, okay? They're like a little amuse-bouche, right? They're an amuse-bouche. They're supposed to just knock, just lighten the flavor so that all of a sudden you're like, oh, okay, now I'm refreshed and ready to see some more. It's a refreshing film.
So he's on a boat and he's spying, being the worst
He
spy.
is spying.
of all time.
He's a very sneaky guy.
No, okay. No, he's not. He's on a boat.
He's sneaky.
He's on a boat right in front of the bad guy's villa on a single boat. He's pretending to fish for days. He has a rod. He has a fishing rod. He stands like this. He's not
how
really
else do
fishing.
you want him to pretend to fish? Do
Right.
you want him to like? What's he supposed to do?
Maybe
He
not
is-
pretend, maybe
he
fish.
Is, he is in Italy or somewhere like that,
Yes.
Europe, and he's just a vacationer. He's got his
He's
little
always,
yacht.
in this movie,
fishing.
he's never standing. Right? He's only posing. So he poses with the fishing pole, flexing his biceps. He's just like
Yeah, he
and
can't
he has
help
his
himself.
binoculars.
He's got fantastic biceps. Let him show them off. I mean,
And then he sends his girlfriend that we just met, who also his daughter we just met, on an undercover mission, like a short where she's definitely going to die.
listen, she is an asset, a civilian asset. He's made that very clear. Okay, he has to be emotionally strong. He has to. Some might say callous. Might have to be a little callous. Taking a civilian asset and putting her in harm's way for the greater good.
And she is clearly going to die, right? She does that thing.
You don't know that she's gonna die.
She's
It's not clear that
she
she's gonna die.
says-
There's a chance that she'll survive.
She says, "I have a daughter. I better come back from this," and gives him a painting that her daughter made of her
Yeah.
skiing in Australia,
raising the stakes.
right? And he
Just-
says, "I'll keep you safe. Don't worry. I will definitely keep you safe." She dies.
I mean, look, whenever I tell you I'm going to keep you safe, don't worry. Don't worry. I'm going to keep you safe.
Oh my God, why are you saying it like
Hysum,
that?
Don't worry. I'm not going to let anything bad happen
Well,
to you.
I have a picture I have painted. It's me nude.
Okay.
But so she dies, right?
She dies because these are the stakes. Nobody's safe. This is some D&D level action over here, Game of Thrones. No one is safe.
But then you find out that the bad guy has done a face-off.
He's done a face-off.
It is the bad guy from before. He's taken off his face, put it on another guy's face. He has a 40-year-old super hot world's best surgeon that they say multiple times. World's best surgeon.
How else are you going to know that she's the world's best surgeon?
And then turns out he did a face-off. And that's the twist.
This is the thing that I love about this movie, is that it does take the opportunity to borrow freely from other, legendary films. And in this case, I didn't see the face-off coming. Here it is. Face-off. The bad guy is actually the secondary bad guy. Is actually the real bad guy.
That twist is so stupid.
The secondary bad guy is the big bad guy.
Oh, God. And so
he's gone up in the ranks.
So now you have, after this 20-minute interlude of where the plot was doing something completely different from what we have been watching.
Yes, because now you understand that there is an element inside Raw that is cooked. There's a cooked element inside RAW that is actually the reason that he had to go rogue. Because they are selling everybody out. And he repeats, he's like, pawn. What is it?
Rook, horse, something
knight,
else.
Pawn and
he has like 4 people inside, in the government somewhere. And those are the people that he's killing, which is so obvious. We knew that he was killing people who were moles, bad guys.
Yeah, okay, fine. So,
why did we have to have a 20-minute thing where they explain this
because
movie?
Not everybody knows exactly what's going on, and this movie is for the masses.
So this movie confuses you more by putting in a song, a child, and a 20-minute interlude.
It's what everybody wants, man. It's like you're such an elitist, honestly, Hysum. You don't care about what the masses want. The masses want song. They want dance. They want love. They want fights. They want the raw, sultry power of Hrithik himself. They want it all, and you're just trying to deny them this.
Switch.
They want dancing. They want love. They want all these things, but they want a good version of it, not what this film brings to the table. This film is just pandering. This film is just pandering to the masses. That's what this film is doing. Really, give me something that's got a little bit of thought behind it.
Pandering.
This
movie made me want to philander. Is what it did. It made me want to just rip Hrithik's shirt off. Just rip Tiger's shirt off. Dance, action, incredible. And then the moment we have all been waiting for, after a bit, a few more action sequences. Yeah. Then the moment we've all been waiting for, Hrithik and Tiger team up. Tiger figures everything out using his expert.
That was a really firm hand grip that you just did.
They're really firm, hand grippy friends. Listen, they team up. The moment we have all been waiting for, Tiger and Hrithik together again. Amazing.
Look, man, I understand that this whole film's been building up to Tiger and Hrithik, teaming up or fighting and doing all that stuff. It's all about them two. They're the two on the poster. It's all about them. But I mean, seriously, this whole thing was not balanced between Tiger and Hrithik. It's idolizing Hrithik from Tiger's eyes, from everybody's eyes. It's just been a long journey to having this kind of like, like, who cares if they're finally teaming up? Like, that's not exciting.
Everybody cares. The entire audience cares.
Do they?
There were women throwing their panties at the screen.
Were they?
It was me. I was throwing my panties at the screen. Okay? And then they have this amazing fight sequences where they're doing this action ballet, John Woo style action, Desperado style action ballet.
It was very Desperado style. That's exactly what I was thinking at the time. I was like, this is taken straight out of Desperado. Can this filmmaker steal from any more movies? It is literally
homage.
just
He's playing homage to all these great action sequences. That's the word. And then in slow motion, they walk into a wedding of their hacker.
Yes.
Okay.
Their hacker friend.
One of the best scenes in the movie.
Yes. And what happens there?
So there's this hard drive that the bad guy is looking for. Okay.
Yes.
This great little device that they're using.
The plot device itself, literally. Yes.
Okay. And then she says, she says to Hrithik, we've all been thinking.
This is her wedding.
We're all thinking this. Yeah. She's the voice of the people. She says, if you want me to, I can elope right now and run away with you, Hrithik. That's what she says. She doesn't say Hrithik, but she might as well have said Hrithik.
She might as well have just used his actual name.
And Tiger says, get in line.
He says, get in line.
With that look in his eyes. this wonderful, loving
It
look.
is shameless. Oh my god. I mean, can you idolize this character anymore? They are literally drooling all over him
Yeah.
in every frame that he's in this movie. It's got no self-awareness whatsoever. I mean, look, I did turn over to you and I did see you drooling over him as well.
I was.
It's true. But I mean, come on. It's excessive.
Hrithik looks like they took Bradley Cooper and removed all his flaws. Right? That's what he looks like.
Yeah.
And why wouldn't you want to show that man off, right?
Because this isn't a magazine cover. This is a movie, all right? Let's move the plot along, people. We've had enough of this.
The plot does move along.
Does it
Right?
now?
They're on a boat now.
They're on a
Wedding.
boat.
Now on a boat. Okay, they've been on a boat. They've been on a ship. They've been on a bike. They've been on a car. They've been in air.
Yeah.
Now they're on a boat.
Yeah.
And then the biggest twist of all time.
Second face-off. Double face-off.
Yes.
Christ, can they? I mean, really? Like, it seems like it's like the eject button. It's like, what else can we do here?
Oh my God.
Come on, man.
This, I have not seen a twist like this.
Who does a double face-off?
I have not. This movie does. War does. It's twice the face off. Okay. This movie, right?
It's laughable, man. It's a joke.
This is the best.
It's too much.
Sixth Sense,
It's
Usual
like
Suspects, and then this twist.
This movie, oh god.
Okay.
This movie is like a daytime soap opera.
Let's
It's a daytime soap opera.
let's explain what the double face off is. Yeah.
Okay.
Turns out Tiger, throughout this movie, for most of this movie, has not been Tiger. He had the bad guy, the traitor from before, Sorab, kill the real Tiger.
Yep.
And double faced off.
Double faced off. And if it wasn't clear enough, they go through a painfully detailed description of the fact that he double faced off him, replete with flashbacks, voiceover, just going over and over, going through every step that it took to get him to do the double face off.
And when you see it go through every step, you understand the genius of this movie.
know?
How it's seeded this throughout, right? How it's layered it, little breadcrumbs for you to fill. You're like, how did I not figure this out? Because it's genius. That's why I didn't figure it out.
Well, listen, I mean, fine. It might have surprised some with its ridiculousness,
Double
but
face
it
off.
just ended up being just like a joke. It was just another layer of mediocrity in a film that's just full of plot holes, all right?
Plot holes.
Full of plot holes. Because then, all of a sudden, it goes from them being on the boat to them being in the Arctic. Like,
Yes.
why are they trying to? Why are they bouncing around the entire globe?
Water.
Why? What?
Snow. Snow.
Why?
Water. Snow.
It's
Why don't you understand? He's on a ship on the... Now, y'all think Hrithik is dead. He's been poisoned and thrown into the water.
Nobody thinks Hrithik is dead.
God.
Not a single person in the theater actually thought that he's actually dead.
I did.
Did
Betrayed by his best friend, his protege, pushed into the water, poisoned. The heartbreak, the drama, the emotion, and now the ship in the Arctic. They shoot a missile into space, going to destroy the satellite.
In 10 minutes specifically, and then the scene takes 20 minutes to actually wrap up. All right, they shoot a rocket into space to destroy the Indian satellite, which will have grave consequences for the entire nation. All right, and then suddenly Hrithik comes floating down in a parachute down onto. Where did he come from?
Where did he go? Cotton Eye Joe.
Cotton Eye Joe.
Okay, he is on the parachute. He autopiloted the plane probably, lands on the ship, and then he faces off against Tiger. Face off, double face off, but this is an actual face off where they're talking.
This is a face off.
Yeah, they're facing off.
How did that make you feel when you saw this triple face off happening?
I was just giddy. I was giddy with anticipation with what was going to happen next, and I was giddy with thrill. This thriller second ride.
Switch!
I was feeling shitty. Shitty. This whole movie is shitty. A turd a second ride. That's what this is. So what happens is that he explains that he knew all along that Tiger wasn't Tiger.
Surprise, surprise.
Yes. Why did he know all
Why
the
did he
while?
know? Why?
Because he's
Because he's a freaking genius, that's why. All right, look, this is the thing. He seeded this this genius filmmaker seeded this idea that the real Tiger, okay, or Khalid as he's known in this film, had one weakness. What was that weakness? Is that he had a partial blind spot in his right eye periphery. Hrithik knew this. Why did he know this? Because Hrithik is a perfect human being, all right? Now, when they were fighting again recently, what ended up happening is that the fake Tiger, okay, the imposter, clearly didn't have any kind of problem with his right periphery because he could see people coming from there.
That's absurd.
And he was shooting people to the right. And everyone knows that if you're shooting people on the right-hand side, you do not have a blind spot in your right periphery.
That's not even a real thing.
Which only can mean one thing: double face-off. That's what it means. So clearly he knew, and he laid a trap.
That, obviously, when that happens, the only logical explanation
is that you're an imposter.
Is double face off, you're an imposter.
Absolutely. And this is the thing, is that the stakes are really high. It takes a certain kind of intellect to come up with that, to realize that the truth of the situation. And it took us all by surprise. He's back. He knew all along. And just to be clear, they go into another flashback sequence. Very important. This film relies on flashback sequences in the most artful way possible to explain the sequence of events, because it's a movie
everyone
for the
who's
masses.
already knows
it's a movie for the masses. People need to know.
Okay. What they need to know is how time works, right? Because the rocket has been shot. There's around 2 minutes left. We go into this 5-10 minute flashback, and there's still a minute and a half left, right? And then Tiger kills the main bad guy just willy-nilly. Doesn't matter. Just shoots him off.
No one is safe.
And then he gets into a
Lamborghini ice chase on the tundra. Absolutely brilliant. I mean, you could see a little clip of that in the trailers, but it's nothing compared to the actual event itself. You know, it's absolutely brilliant. The kinds of action sequences that they had this movie, flying across the tundra, chasing each other in Lamborghinis, shooting through the windows, spinning around each other, crashing through a church.
Why was this Lamborghini in the ship in the first place?
You're asking the wrong questions. I mean, why
the
would
physics
you
of
ask
it
that?
doesn't make any sense when they're driving in the snow. And then where the hell did the church come from in the Arctic?
That's where Santa Claus is. I mean, you know, there's all sorts of surprises in the Arctic. There's churches. There's all sorts of things. What's the wrong? There's a lot of space in the Arctic. There are forests and there are churches there. And this happens to be, fortunately, an abandoned church that they smashed
And
into.
then you have
the best action sequence of the entire movie.
The dumbest hand-to-hand combat sequence, an excuse to get a shirt off. That's all it is. Excuse to get their shirts off and flex their biceps and abs.
I didn't see a single person complaining in the theater. It was a gift to the audience to show as much skin as possible from Tiger and Hrithik. All right. And by the way, Tiger got his first slow motion sequence of the film.
Yes.
Well deserved.
Well, bad guy Tiger, by the way, all he does is like all of a sudden his face changes to like just evil glare. That's all he does. He does the squinty eye thing, you know, with death stare.
Because you have to know that he's now the bad guy.
And he has scars on his face now.
So he's like really dangerous now.
So also, Tiger takes Hrithik, shoots him through like this marble.
Absolutely. Granite, first of all, not marble, a much more porous.
He takes his
stone.
head, crashes it through 5 marble pillars.
He's got a tough
granite
head.
pillars, and nothing happens. He bleeds a little, but he's just standing. This guy is like Superman. Like, what the hell?
As for the purposes of this movie, he is an exceptional human being with a very, very tough head.
Like,
yes.
you never feel that Hrithik is in any danger. So this hand-to-hand combat scene is...
He died at one point in the film, all right? Don't tell me he's not in any danger, okay? They allowed him to die and then be reborn like the Christ figure that he is.
And that's why it's in church?
They have a church sequence. This is the layers of the film that you're missing, okay? And then at one point in the church, you know, and he had already called him God.
Yeah.
Previously, right? And then in the church, you see the stained glass behind him in the halo of holiness. I mean, this was, you know, a movie made, you know, a couple of decades ago, they would have analyzed the crap out of it. Now, because you're feeling like it's a crowd pleaser as well, you're refusing to see the layers, the layers of messaging that are in it. Christ-like figure.
Blasphemous. That's what this movie is.
Blasphemous.
Pure
More like a blast.
Blasphemy. Then Tiger dies. The movie ends. The Hrithik's kidnapped the little child and take her to Australia. That the child does not belong to him.
Everybody's happy.
And no idea why they allowed.
Because the child's mother is now bless her soul, God rest in peace, and all that jazz. You know, she's alone in the world now, and so he wants to take.
Why
care of
would
her.
they let this child just go with this strange man?
Because he's Hrithik. Would you not trust your child with Hrithik after seeing those gorgeous eyes of his? Of course you would. You would trust yourself with Hrithik. You would be like, can I be your child, Hrithik? That's what you would be like. I know it. Don't lie. I know the truth. Look, the fact is that, yes, they wanted to wrap it up at the end, and they gave everybody a good send-off, and they left the door open for a sequel. And actually, the sequel's been greenlit as well, so I can't wait to see part 2. And I believe that we have reached the natural conclusion of this debate. Tell me, Hysum, what are your thoughts on this movie?
You go first.
So look, Omar Does Bollywood. This is part 2 of Omar Does Bollywood. Part 1 was freaking. I mean, Bharat was just some next level filmmaking, and I really loved it. It was ridiculous, but it was funny. And I enjoyed that. And this film had the opposite problem, right? It wasn't funny. That's the issue. Is that it was unintentionally funny. It was all like, it was just a blast. It was visually like just so much fun. It was like seriously a big blockbuster action popcorn film. It was fun. I actually had a good time watching it, but I was also laughing at it in many cases because it was so self-serious. When a movie takes itself seriously, you kind of start to kind of laugh at it a little bit. I think it could have punctuated all that seriousness with a lot of jokes. There were missed opportunities. Like, for example, you keep seeing Hrithik in slow motion. Like, it's really excessive. Like, he's like smoldering, looking at the camera and like, showing off his muscles. I get it. He's a sex symbol. I get it. He's deserving of the title, but it's just over the top. And the plot was just completely batshit insane. It was nuts, like them traveling around the world. The martial arts, like the actual hand-to-hand combat, was really great. I thought it was really, really cool choreography and really good, especially the church sequence at the end. But it's like it borrowed from all of these movies that we know. Mission Impossible, Face Off, Fast and the Furious, on and on and on. But it did like a lesser version of them. Yeah. And then wrapped it up all together as a vehicle for like the idolization of Hrithik, Yeah. Literally, you know. Did I have fun? Yes, I did enjoy it, Yeah. But it was batshit insane, man. It was, and those dance sequences that came out of absolutely nowhere. Like, I was like, what is going on? What is this? What's happening? Like, it was like, I don't know. They felt like a hallucination.
I think you can accuse this movie of being a lot of things, but you can never accuse it of being boring.
Yeah.
Right? It is constantly interesting or exciting or entertaining or dumb, but like something is always happening and you never know what to expect next. Yeah. So it's fun.
Yeah.
Right? And I mean, Hrithik is a movie star, right?
He is a movie star.
The screen shines when he's on it, right?
If it wasn't shining, they will make it shine.
And
they will shine the shit out of it.
And his slow motion game is on point. Like, he knows. He knows how to use that camera slow motion.
Slow everything down.
Right? So I enjoyed the movie too. But yes, it is a lesser version of an action movie, but still fun. Like, so if you were gonna go watch this at the movies with a bunch of friends, yeah, go for it. Like, I wouldn't recommend against it.
Like, it's what you would expect a cliche Bollywood movie to be to some extent because of how over the top it is. Mm-hmm. Like I've gotten to watch a series of Bollywood movies over the past few months that really broke my expectation, shattered my expectation of what Bollywood movies are supposed to be, because there were some really fantastic films that far exceeded a lot of the Western films that we watched this year, like far. This was more of the traditional, like what you would expect of a Bollywood movie, because it's so like over the top, and the dance sequences were so ridiculous, but it was definitely fun. And we also watched another action film the same week, which we'll review next week, and that wasn't as much fun. It wasn't at all. So I was like, you know what,
we're talking about Gemini Man.
We are talking about Gemini Man. Yes. So it ended up being really kind of, just like slow and boring. But this movie was just so much that I can imagine that if you're shelling out, the money to go and just escape for a couple of hours, I mean, you're going to enjoy it, Like, is it high cinema? No. Is it entertainment? Definitely.
So how many thumbs would you give this movie?
How many thumbs? If I was Hrithik, then I would be able to give it 11 thumbs. Well, at least 3.
Yes.
But actually, I would say 6. I'd give it like 6 Hrithik thumbs for this movie. Why? Because even though the plot was like a 3 and the storyline was just ridiculous and it borrowed from like everything, homage. Even though it was batshit insane and the CGI was absolutely terrible, whenever they tried to have the CGI was actually horrible. It didn't matter as much as the fact that it was so fully on board with itself.
Yeah.
Like it was so full of confidence. It was so like unashamed that you went along for the ride and it just kept you really entertained, So even though there were times when I was laughing at how ridiculous it was, I still enjoyed myself.
Did you see the double face-off coming?
I didn't see the double face-off coming. I did not see the double.
Yeah, me neither.
Even the first face-off, I was like a bit surprised. I was like, oh, is that what we're doing? Is this the kind of movie that we're in right now? Okay, it's a face-off movie. I then thought it was just a one-off, and then when it turned out that Tiger's character was actually
not him,
face-off and not him, I was like, well done. Yeah. I didn't see that coming at all.
Got me too.
Got me good.
I would also give this a 6 for all the same reasons.
Yeah.
It's big dumb fun.
Big dumb fun.
And I think it's big dumb fun on another level because of the Bollywood excesses that are in there.
There's one thing though that I have to say is that none of the sequences looked like they came from the same team. Like this is something that I thought was a little bit like ridiculous. That you'd have like sequences that looked like they were shot for like the TV show
24. They're the 24 action sequences.
The 24 like the
kinetic action,
like
zoom ins, and
zoom in, zoom out, like when they're talking about the spy stuff, or like then you had like the dance sequences that were like completely like something else. And then you had the sequences in Italy that looked different. And you had the sequences in Iraq that looked different. So I think that it would have been better if it felt more unified. But again, I still.
So they had 4 different action choreographers do the scenes here, but they were like, one of them was from the guy who choreographed the Dark Knight action sequences. The other one was from Death Ray. So they had some like international talent.
They had some heavy hitters. Look, this is on par with what Fast and the Furious is in Hollywood. So this is like big, huge budget. Big everything. So I'm not gonna sit there and think that it's some kind of underdog. Like this is no underdog.
This was number 8 on like the United States box office charts with the weekend it came out.
Yeah, I was really surprised to hear that. I know that the States doesn't exactly have a large Indian population. So it must have been a lot of people going to see this movie. So that was kind of cool.
Okay.
So yeah, big dumb fun. Enjoyed it. Why not? Are we good? You're good? That's it? Yeah,
do the final.
Yeah, I will do the final. Okay. So, thank you for listening to Switch Flicks. If you loved or hated the show, please do rate, comment, subscribe. It really does help the podcast and the community. And, of course, because this is our first foray into actual video and a video episode, find us on YouTube. And, as we refine this, we'll be putting more up. Thank you for listening, and have a nice day.
War!
We are Switch Flicks.
Hrithik.